Good day and welcome back to my channel. So I'm cruising along here on the SU-152 and I finally hit a bunch of spots where I feel like I need to stop and show. So I'm going to pull in the instructions real quick and kind of show the process of where I am. So I believe I left off when we were talking about the tracks, right? So left off getting ready to do the tracks and the wheels and so forth, right? So what I've done is I did the wheels. I did put together all the wheels, the sprocket, the idler wheel, and I cut out the track pieces. They're here. I then kept going, right? And because I'm still chewing on how I'm going to put the tracks on and how I'm going to deal with them. So I went ahead and I put the wheels on, and these all go on friction fit, right? So these all come right off. So my thought currently is to put the tracks on the wheels. This I had to glue on, and I'll get to that in a second. Put the tracks on the wheels and then take them off with the wheels glued to the tracks so I can do, the final detailing. Now, what I may do is something else, and here's why. So I've seen that process with, a bunch of the more common armor model folks like, Panzermeister and Night Shift and a few others. But they're basically doing the track and wheel assembly separately, and it makes the weathering and painting somewhat easier. Now, so I thought about doing that, and then I ran into a bit of a snag. You see that piece up under there, right? There. So there's that piece that's right up under here. And that piece is this piece here. That means I cannot pull the sprocket wheel off. I tried. I was wondering if I could kind of angle it and pull it, but the way that's in, I cannot. So the sprocket wheel has to stay on. Now, it's possible that I could disconnect all the others, slide them off the sprocket wheel and pull. The other part is I might just go ahead and paint the model, put the tracks together, then paint the tracks. Put the tracks together, give them their first layer of paint, and then wrap them around. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do all that, right? I mean, the other option is I just go ahead and I put the tracks on now and then paint the whole thing like some other folks do. So, I'm still chewing on it. So all of that to basically say why I haven't done this part. But what I did do is I went ahead and I kept going, and I did the rest of I kept working on the rest of the body, and I started running into some weirdisms. Now, the angles of the drawings on this are all the isometric view from this way, right? So it's pretty much you're always seeing the port side of the tank, which is fine as long as everything is the same. But it isn't always the same. So like this piece right here, that piece, YW4, goes here somewhere. Now there's no locating mark on that side to tell you where it goes. So I'm intentionally leaving that off until I put the tanks on, because I can see roughly where it is, right? But again, the isometric view sort of skews it a little. But I'm going to finish. I'll put that on after I put the tanks on so that I can kind of see what room I have. Now, this view isn't really an issue. Like, these pieces are there. The wheels are the same. These pieces are all the same, right? And so forth. So that all works just fine. They do give you some different isometrics for the casement and so forth, which is nice. Pay attention to the orientation when you go to do this, because that's important. And then here's where I run into a couple of challenges, though. The pick and this piece right here, which is, I'm sorry, the pick and this piece right here, which is for the tow cable to hook onto, they're telling you to put on the far side. And that's your instruction. You can see how the line gets dotted, but they're not really telling you where to go. Now, I did get to looking at this, and this is where something is kind of there. And on this side, it's not. And that's the frustrating piece. So, see these pieces here, right? They go on just like these. They basically, the instructions were stick them on. So you had to stick them on. And I believe you can see these little tiny marks here and here. Now that's where, let's see if I can get that. There we go. These things here. Now that is where the pick is going to go. But there isn't a corresponding mark here for the tow cable part. Now there was one on this side for this one. And there's also that mark. There's also this mark here and here for the bar that goes on. And that's something you've got to, that's the things you've got to find. Now the other piece for these handles, they're going to go into these pieces here. So there's actually holes for these to set into. And there were holes in this door for these handles. But these handles all the way around here, they are all marks just like that. So you've got to look for those. And that was something of a bugaboo for me. I actually considered pulling out my Dremel and actually drilling out. This is a low speed or variable speed rotary tool. And I can spin this thing down to a very low RPM. And I could use that to make holes. And it's actually what I used to make the other holes here when they said make hole. So I thought about it, and I ended up not. I ended up just being able to put them on the way they told you to, but I did want to call that out. Another thing that confused me, these two, I guess, extractor covers, I'm guessing that's what they are. It says part YW3 should not be fixed. Now it's showing these two pieces here, and there are pre-made holes. Not like they told you to make holes. There's these pre-made holes here and here. Actually, they did tell you to make holes. Yeah, these are ones where they did tell you to make holes. So I did that, and then I go and I look, and then I see these should not be fixed. Okay, but then all the instructions and all of the pictures show those. So I don't understand why. I will eventually, actually, when I finish the next stages, I will go back and do that. So I am now to the point where I'm going to finish up the final pieces. Now, this is something else I'm going to do because I screwed up. Somehow a spot of glue got onto this hook. This hook is fine. This hook got a spot of glue on it. So I am going to not have that tow cable on. I'm actually leaving this hanging off to the side on purpose for that reason. I will put the other one on appropriately, and then I'll actually put the tow cable onto this like it was supposed to. But because there isn't a tow cable piece, I'm going to actually break that off. I'm actually planning to break that off and rust it and make it look like damage because I made a mistake. And all of you guys who are like expert armor modelers, I apologize. I know this is kind of sloppy. It's the first armor kit I've done in ever. So I'm learning. I'm learning as I go. And anyway, I'm going to now go on and finish these here. I will get it all the way up to the point where it's time to paint it. And then I will come back here with a look, and we'll see what the thing looks like when that's done, and then I'll go paint. So hang on a moment.